Hello and welcome. It's Linda Emsley from Love Lali, and I'm really excited to talk to you tonight about the Healy, and even more excited to share this information and this experience with the beautiful Tamala Ridge, who actually was the person who put me onto this device in the first place. So let me tell you a little bit about Tamala. She's the founder and director of the Institute for Spiritual Companioning. She's a #1 best-selling author. She's an addiction specialist and spiritual mentor. She empowers divine feminine healers and coaches to release their own limiting and self-sabotaging beliefs so that they can hold space for themselves and their clients with a greater degree of integrity. She supports other space holders to clear their own path to success, abundance, and divine sovereignty. Her mission is to inspire others to experience heaven on earth. Sounds gorgeous. That's exactly what I'm after too. Through the sacred art of detoxing. After her own battle with addictions, she is now a self-confessed #detox junkie and gets off on her sobriety. She gets off on the sobriety of her untainted soul. That's just gorgeous. She's a coach's coach, working with challenging and inspiring spiritual entrepreneurs to become more clear, conscious, and magnetic in order to increase the potency of the medicine that they bring to the world, and thereby increasing their income, their impact, and their influence. So let's bring the glorious Tamala Ridge on board. Hi, Tamala. How are you?
Hey,
I'm just trying to
I'm really good, Linda.
Thanks so much for agreeing to do this. And I see we've
You're
got
so welcome.
somebody tuning in. Welcome. Thank you so much. You might like to let me know in the comments who you are and where you're tuning in from, because we're doing this through StreamYard. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission to show your name, we might not see it. But mind you, we're on my open page. We should be able to see you. It's interesting. So Tamala, first of all, thank you so much for thinking of me when you came across this device yourself and for putting it on my radar. I really do appreciate that. I'm really curious to know, though, what is it that piqued your interest to start with? What was the big reason that you decided to invest in a Healy device?
Such a good question. And when we spoke about this earlier, I was going, there was, what was the one big reason? Because there was so many, really. And I think the biggest answer really was it was an energetic yes. It was just I get it. Oh, yes. It wasn't even an intellectual, it was like just this body, yeah, I need one of them. And I didn't even really comprehend why. Someone sent it to me, like I sent it to you. I sent you a little video and I said, I think you should check this out. I think it might really resonate with you. Someone did that for me. I listened to the interview of people talking about the Healy. I had heard it mentioned a couple of times in the month, it just kept coming up on the radar. And so when things do that for me, it's like, it piques my interest because it keeps coming into my energetic field. And then when the Healy kept coming in as well, it's like, I think I need to listen to this. And when I heard about the idea that it was a frequency device, my interest peaked as well, because moving in the industry that I'm in and yourself, and we're working with all sorts of healing formats in spiritual development, working with the level of vibration is where it's at. We've done a lot of work in the physical realm. We've been body workers and we're working with the talk therapy. But when we start working in the quantum field and in frequency and vibration, that's where things start to manifest and we create change very quickly. And so when I heard that there was a device that could work with us on a vibrational frequency level, I'm like, I want to know about that. Tell me about that. So I jumped into some testimonial groups because I thought, okay, well, can it really do what it says that it can do? So I did my own research and exploration, and I found this group, this testimonial group, that we could probably leave the link in, under here, because that's what, I wanted to go and find out what other people were saying. And so I started to read all of these testimonials about pain and sleep disorders and anxiety and depression and doing things with their animals and, just feeling lighter and more vibrant and more magnetic. I was like, okay, that's good. I'm sold. Give me one. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So totally hear where you're coming from with the whole frequency and vibration thing. I mean, as a Reiki master, that's certainly my realm. That's where I work on a daily basis. And to have the idea of quantum physics, which has been for a very long time now, so far ahead of mainstream science when it comes to allowing for the fact that we are actually energetic beings, that consciousness has such an important role to play in our being. Without consciousness we're nothing. So when I discovered that this device was developed by a man who was not only a quantum physicist, but he'd also lived as a monk for 12 years in the Vedic philosophy. So that was the thing that I thought, he's actually here as a person who is embodying those two aspects in one place and bringing forth a creation that is specifically for healing in the area that I work in. I'm like, just show me where to sign. I'm signing up on the dotted line. And I, same as you, I checked out the testimonial groups that you can have a look at. And my specific interest was fibromyalgia, the skeletal conditions, and migraine in particular, because, migraines are a nasty thing, and I'm a sufferer of those as well. And, to know that this particular technology was initially developed specifically to treat those conditions, and that this has been used for about 15 years already, specifically treating those conditions, and that all of that experience, all of that information, all of that work that's gone into the time waver device is what's informing the Healy device, which is kind of like the little brother, I guess, of time waver. So yeah, just like you, like, oh, I've got to have one of these. Sign me up. I mean, I did take a night or two to sleep on it. But yeah.
And that's pretty normal. We have to think about it. We have to take a bit of time to go, oh, really? I mean, it's an investment. And I think, the idea that it's an investment into our health, into our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, what else would we rather be putting our money towards, really, other than something like that? And I think there is a 2-week money back guarantee. There's not a lot of products that actually offer that. And so knowing that we can still get the device, play with it for 2 weeks, and if it doesn't do what it says it does, and if we're not happy with it, we can send it back. So it's a no-brainer. I mean, if this thing does what it says it can do, oh my freaking God. And the idea that, that frequency is something that you can't touch it. You can't, this little device, it's like this little thing, and we can't see what it's actually going to do. It's an experiential device. Yeah. So we can listen to what other people are saying, but then we have to experience it ourselves. And then these Healy machines, they sell themselves. There's no hustle in the market. There's no tricks. It's just like, this is the experience, and this is what people are experiencing. And it's like, I want what she's having. That sounds incredible. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And the other possibility that really excites me about the Healy is, there is this absolute huge untapped potential for healing and well-being, but it's also a beautiful signpost for your own spiritual development. Like, we can tap into these healing frequencies, but we can also use these as a little roadmap, if you like, of the areas that need our attention, so that we can do the work in those specific areas rather than making, the more slow general progress that you might make as you do your whole holistic approach, your generalized, here I am sitting in my spiritual development, raising my vibrations and creating my field to be bigger and all of that sort of thing. But with this specific information, pinpointing where you are slightly out of balance and where this particular frequency could just be fine-tuned a bit, it's going to give you that extra bit of information to just tune in and go, oh, I get it. I get it. Ramp me up a notch.
Yeah.
You know, so I
Yeah.
think there is so
And
much
I
potential
love the
for
idea that,
changing consciousness.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Tamala, you
Yeah.
were saying?
So coming from the time waver technology, which you were talking about as well, what's just come to me now when you're saying this, it's a time saver. We work so hard on the physical level, and the physical level is heavy and it's dense and it does take time to recover. But when we start working in the quantum field, things happen like that. So if we can up level our ascension, if we can up level our healing, our ability to feel better, to feel more vibrant, to have more high vibration, quicker. Like the planet needs to be ascending faster. You know, the light needs to be rising. There is so much fear on the planet. Fear is making us sick. It's giving us pain. It's giving us depression. It's giving us anxiety. We're totally addicted to it, actually. That's a whole nother conversation. So if we can find tools that can support us to heal, to resolve and to raise our vibration at a much faster pace, why wouldn't we? Like, we don't have much time. Like, we really need to be finding and utilizing the tools on the planet at the moment. It's all there. The information is all there. It's been divinely channeled, divinely created. And this thing is a hack. It's a quantum hack. It's a conscious technology that we can hack into that's really readily available.
Oh, look, it's an absolute paradigm shift. You know, if we can consciously wake up, I mean, it's a bit of an oxymoron, I know, but with the intention behind the Healy to help others actually accelerate that process of opening, awakening, raising their awareness, you know, the tide will change, and we need that. But not only that, this is kind of like the thin edge of the wedge. This is the new technology that's coming in for healing and well-being, which is going to open up a whole plethora of other stuff that's going to manage the healing and well-being of Mother Earth herself as well. Because let's face it, all of those sicknesses that you listed off about us, we're inflicting that on the planet. So if we can heal ourselves, then we give the planet the best chance ever for her own evolution and for her better support and environment for the rest of life on Earth. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
I love that. I'm so excited as well. And one of the stories that I've heard, because obviously you and I can't share our stories yet, our personal stories, and I can't wait to be able to do that. But one of the stories that someone shared, and it was Adriana, she's one of the women that introduced it to me. And I remember her saying that, you know, she is a very successful, highly driven, spiritual entrepreneur. And she works hard. And she said when she first received the Healy, she thought, you know, she'd give herself one of the relaxing and the calming programs. So she sat down and she did a 10 or 20-minute program. I can't remember which one it was. And instantly afterwards, she thought to herself, I'm just going to go and have a lie down. I'm just going to go have a bit of a nap. So she went and did a 10 or 20-minute power nap, and she woke up and she literally went, oh my God, I never would have given myself permission to go and lie down and take a break, ever. That's just not in my mental field. I drive myself. And what was so surprising to her, and what really, you know, pricked up my attention there, was like, what if when we use this tool, that it supports us to get into a more aligned and higher vibration, so that we can start to make more loving choices about ourselves and about our self-care and about the planet. Like, that's incredible. And energy work can sometimes be very subtle, but make huge differences. So if it can support us to make more subtle choices, more loving choices, because we're vibrating at a higher rate, like, the potential for that is like mind-blowing. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But underlying all of this, you know, we are living in a physical body. And yes, the Healy does work at this particular level. It works out in the field, basically, to initiate change through the energies and into the physical body. And this is where, you know, obviously we're all living and where we're experiencing life on Earth. And for so many of us, this body is experiencing extreme pain, chronic illness, stress, anxiety, all of those nasty things, insomnia, you name it. People are recovering from injury, they're recovering from surgery. So this particular device specifically targets those areas as well. So yes, it's going to initiate that beautiful spiritual change for people who are ready to take that step. But in doing that, it's going to provide a beautiful well-being tool that supports the body's own capacity to heal. And that's the really powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that. Yeah, because that's on the radar as well. You know, we want to be really mindful and conscious and clear that the Healy doesn't fix us. The Healy isn't the be-all and end-all tool that's going to save the world and the planet. What the Healy does is it supports us to come into a more aligned vibrational frequency so that our own body can do its own healing to its best capacity. So that's the incredible difference and the subtle difference, that we're not putting our healing or our support external to us. We're doing the healing ourselves. The Healy supports us to get in the best possible framework and vibration so that our body can do what it's made to do.
Absolutely. And, you know, in all honesty, that is what all healing is about. All healing is about you taking responsibility for your own journey and doing the work that's required to keep yourself in balance and to provide your body the information it needs to find its way back to balance, you know, at whatever capacity it still retains to find that balance. So, yeah, this is just another, well, it's not just another, this is another incredibly powerful tool, quite different to many of the other tools that just work in one specific area. This is really holistic. So, and, you know, the more I read, the more excited I get.
I know, me too. We were talking before about how we keep running to the letterbox and we're going, is it here yet? Is it here yet? There's been, because so many have sold recently. There was a huge promotion recently. So many have sold. Apparently a Healy sold every 10 seconds across the globe. Oh my God. And so there's a bit of a backlog on the orders. So yeah, Linda and I are like so excited. We're on Facebook going, has yours arrived yet? Has yours arrived yet? And it hasn't yet. But I think maybe the other thing to mention also is the business opportunity, which, absolutely, you know, for people like yourself and myself who already have service-based businesses, it's very, very exciting to now have a product that, like we've spoken about before, that very, very highly aligns with what it is we do already. And the business opportunities for people who, as soon as you buy a Healy, you can sell them. Oh, look, Rebecca's just said, absolutely no-brainer. Yes, you can start to sell them. And these things sell themselves. The support that I've received, and I know that you've received as well, the training, the support, the conscious community now that are all rallying around this device and supporting each other in a business sense is absolutely incredible. To not only have an incredible device, but to also then have a separate income stream in your business. Because as we know at the moment, being able to pivot in this current world crisis and climate, because we're finding that we might be doing something and providing a service that's no longer needed or unable to be, you know, received in the world. To have multiple streams of income in your business now is the way to go. It's the intelligent way to go. And bringing Healy in as a part of your business, oh my God, amazing.
Yeah. And not only that, you know, it does bring an extra product stream into the business, but it also brings another facility into the service space of what you offer, because you can provide healing sessions with Healy. And, you know, as a person who works in energy healing anyway, and distance work is not unfamiliar to myself and to many other people out there, Healy also can offer healing at a distance, because it's a frequency-based device, because it works in the energetic field. So there are so many options for how you can bring this on board into an existing business, or even create a business around it if that's what you choose to do. But I think the other really important thing that you've kind of highlighted there, Tamala, is, you know, this is an uncertain period of time that we're in. And, you know, one of the most important things that you can invest in right now is your personal health. Getting your health up to its optimum capacity is probably the most essential thing that you could do. It's going to see us all through. It's not just yourself that you're looking after, because that ripple effect moves out, and it's, you know, it's the friends, the family, the community around you. So the more you look after yourself, the more you're able to look after that wider circle around you. So just a few things.
Yes.
It just makes so much sense. Oh, I'm trying to show.
Yes.
One of
We are
Rebecca's
our greatest asset. Yeah. Like we are. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, you were cutting out there.
absolutely.
Rebecca says it's literally changed my business. Frequency therapy will be so huge, and we're just at the beginning. We are pioneers. We're so exciting. Yes. Someone said the other day, this is like iPhone 1, and look where we're at with that. Like this is Healy 1. Health is wealth. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And we should probably mention, Linda, and I think we'll grab the disclaimer. I'm not sure if Rebecca might even have it. She could prop it in the comments for us, the disclaimer around Healy, because it is really important to note that Healy doesn't claim to heal anything. Healy supports us to do the healing in ourselves, and having that differentiation is really, really important, because the power's in us. Yeah, we have the power within us to heal. We're just utilizing all of the tools that we possibly can at our fingertips to support us to do this for ourselves. Yeah.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's Deepak Chopra or somebody else like Deepak who talks about the pharmacopoeia within the body. Everything the body needs for healing is within. We just need to know how to access it, or how to give it the information it needs to trigger whatever it is that it needs. And this is certainly one of the tools that can help us learn how to do that. In the first instance, it will do it for us. But I can see over time that this is something that you could use as personal and spiritual development to be able to refine your sensitivity enough to know when you need to do that for yourself. You know, this is a starting point. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And really, you know, the refinement is the key. You know, we can do all the talking therapy in the world. You know, I'm an EFT practitioner. Like tapping is an incredible energy medicine. You're doing Reiki healing. If we can hack our way through, breaking on through, getting into the subconscious, getting into the parts of our body where our awareness isn't that great because it's blocked with our toxic thoughts, our toxic overload in the body. If we can find any hacks to do that quicker, more consciously, and more easily, then like why not? It's all here at our fingertips. We don't have to struggle. It doesn't have to be really difficult. It can be. We can turn things around in an instant if we have the intention. If we have that as an intention. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Bronwyn's asking a really good question here. Will the Healy help people even if they are skeptical and non-believing of the theory? My answer to that is yes. Well, my answer to that is the Healy won't heal you, but it will certainly provide the information into your energy field that you require for personal healing. And it's a little bit like I would imagine somebody coming to me for a Reiki session, not believing in what I do. And that does happen. People are skeptical, and it's a good thing to be skeptical and to ask the questions and to do your due diligence. But when people come for a Reiki session, for instance, there is an implicit consent that you have given me permission to channel energy to you for healing, and that you're going to receive that energy. So I guess a similar thing applies with the Healy, that it will provide the information into your field, and if you're ready to accept it and ready to change the areas that it talks about, then healing can occur. But if you're not ready, or you don't want to make that change, or if belief is the thing that makes you not ready, then perhaps it won't be quite as effective as it could be. But the information is still there in your field, whether your physicality is able to accept it or not at this point in time. The thing to remember is we're talking about quantum theory, which I'm not particularly strong in. And this is talking about energy, it's talking about frequency, it's talking about information coming through as a light field or an energy field. So it really requires quite a shift in your thinking to be able to accept yourself as being something more than just the physical 3D being that you see in front of you. In fact, this was always my opening when I was teaching Psychic Skills 101, is leave your skepticism at the door for just a moment and imagine that you are a being of energy and vibration, and that what you see here in front of you is that energy and vibration at its lowest, slowest frequency, so slow that it's come down into the density of 3D matter. So kind of got off the question there a bit. Do you have anything you'd like to add there, Tamala?
Oh, I loved your explanation. I was right there with you. Absolutely. And I believe that everything is about belief. What we believe, we manifest. Our physical 3D world is just a manifestation of our beliefs, of our perception. And so, you know, I love the idea of just suspending our belief at the door just for a minute, because what if this was a tool and a device that could really support us to reduce our levels of pain, to increase our levels of happiness, to increase our vitality, to increase our abundance? What if? Like, what if? And Rebecca says it has epic results in animals and they don't have a placebo effect. Yes, that's a great point, Rebecca. The other thing I thought of the other day too was, like, at the very end of the day, the worst case scenario is, what if it is a placebo? Like, really, what if it is? But our believed in this machine so much that we got better and we had less pain. That in itself just talks about the power of our own mind and the power of our own belief system. So, but you know, it's all about intention. It's all about belief. Yeah, it's all about vibration. Yeah.
I was just going to say that brings up the conversation about, well, what is placebo? Placebo is quantum healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through our belief.
I'd just like to note that Rebecca has very kindly popped the disclaimer in the comments there for us. So, yeah. So have a read of what that says. It's really, you know, you need to have the information about this particular device. It's fantastic. And I love, you know, Rebecca mentioned that it's being used for animals and the animals are responding really well to the device. And what I'm loving about it is the more I look into it, there's all these different programs available for body healing, but there's also all of these other programs available for things like chakras, for crystals, for the Australian bushflower essences, for the bark flower essences. You know, there's materia medica in there. There's all of these holistic therapies that people are accessing anyway as part of their self-care regimen. And we have that available in its purest frequency format through the Healy device. And a lot of those things are actually vibrational medicine anyway. They work on the assumption of frequency. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So if we can believe in crystals and flower essences, and if we can believe in all of that, like, this is next level. This is 100% next level. And the belief will follow. This is spreading like wildfire, and, you know, and it'll become more the norm than not the norm. You know, it will become something that people are like picking up like their iPhones, like, oh yeah, just got my Healy today. It's all happening. And I think one thing to mention might be really exciting, because you do have to initially plug it into your phone. So my initial thought was, I don't really want to be hanging out with a device that's potentially making me hang out more with my electromagnetic phone. So the good thing to note is that, yes, there's a program on our phone that does the reading for us, But the exciting thing to know is that we plug it into the phone, we do the reading, then we put the phone away, then we press play on the Healy, and then the Healy sends us the vibration that it needs. So it doesn't actually need to be around the electromagnetic frequency device of our phone. It's just for the reading. The Healy also has electromagnetic frequency protection programs on there as well.
I know, and I think that is just fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
And Bronwyn's just noting here for us that this is making sense, and she's thinking of her husband whose ears pricked up when he told him it might alleviate migraine and muscle pain, but who would have trouble with the theory. Yeah, look, that may be the case. This particular technology has been in use for 15 years in Portugal, Germany, and there's a couple of other places, Norway, I believe. It's mainly European countries for 15 years, specifically with people with fibromyalgia, with migraine, and with other skeletal muscular pain disorders. So they actually have quite a body of research and case studies and just experience, I guess, in how people are actually responding to this particular technology. And so that's what's enabled the Healy device. Well, that's what actually drove the Healy device to come into existence, was the people who created Time Waver wanted it to be available as a personal device, that you didn't have to go and book into a session somewhere and pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars each time you had a session or whatever. You could access this for yourself. So maybe it's an experience thing. Rather than trying to understand the theory, maybe it's something that needs to be experienced. And once the experience has happened, then more understanding can flow. Sometimes we just need to experience stuff in our body to be okay with it. So sometimes it's a little bit of a catch-22. Yeah.
Yeah. And do we really know what happens in our body when we take a pill? Like we get this little white pill, we take a pill, and do we actually understand the theory? Unless you're a nurse or a doctor or someone with that trained understanding of the pathways that medication takes, we take that as blind faith, really. But we experience relief from pain when we take it. So we don't actually understand how it works, but the experience tells us it does. So I love your explanation there. We don't have to understand. We just got to know that it does.
Well, and the difficulty is the theory behind it is quantum theory. And for you to really understand it, you would actually need to have training in quantum physics. Now, look, I've done a lot of reading over the years about the connection or the integration between energy healing and quantum physics. And I still find I just don't have the neural synapses. I can almost feel where those neurons just don't quite meet. And there's just, nope, I don't get that concept at all. So that can be difficult. But what you need to understand is this was developed by a quantum physicist. This is based in science. It's based in cutting edge science. And for you to really understand the theory of it, you would have to have quite a background in science yourself, I would imagine, to really fully appreciate the genius that's gone into this. So Marlene is also saying that her husband might have difficulty. So Marlene, I've had to disable my keyboard to be able to plug my microphone in so I can do this broadcast. Otherwise, I'd be popping into the chat here the link to a testimonial group where you can actually go in and search up specific conditions, and you can see what people who have those particular conditions, what they're experiencing themselves with the Healy. So I might come back in at the end and pop that link in for you. So if you want to have a look, you can click into that. It's a Facebook group. You can go in. You can look up degenerative disc disease. You can look up disc injury. You can look up, I'm assuming it's back pain because it's a disc. You can look up those different types of things and just see what other people are experiencing with it. And you know, if you have specific questions after that, feel free to connect and we'll see what we can do to find out more info for you.
The other thing that you can do is Google time waiver, because a lot of the research is based on the time waiver technology. And there's a lot of stuff in Google that you can go and research. And I do believe Rebecca can answer this too. There are white papers. There are specific scientifically written medical journals on the time waiver machine. And there's a lot of specific ailments that are under there. If people are very, very genuinely want that, you could reach out to Linda or I, and we can find you the link to those white papers as well, because some people, they really need the science, they really want it, they really have to read it. And if you're scientifically minded and you have to have it, then it is all there. And then there's those of you who might be like Linda and myself and go, oh my God, yep, I get it, give me one. I don't need to know how it works. I don't even want to know. I just want to feel it and experience it. Rebecca says you can go to the testimonial group, and they do have the science also in Europe. It's a grade 2 medical device for pain and fibromyalgia and more, plus the 2-week money-back guarantee. That's what I did. It took 6 to 7 days for me, but some have amazing results in only 1 or 2 sessions. Yep. Rebecca's hair said her hair is getting thicker. I'm waiting for that. I'm putting the hair one straight on as soon as I get it.
Yeah, look, I was just having a quick look at the back of the manual, because the manual itself does contain a number of those reports that you were talking about, Tamala, but I can't see, you know, I'm just flicking through really quickly while we're here on screen. I can't actually see anything specifically on disc degeneration, but there is a lot of stuff in here. All sorts of different conditions that have been treated with a similar approach to what Healy actually does with frequency. It also does microcurrent. We haven't really talked very much about that. So one of the other aspects of Healy is working at the cellular level to actually rebalance the potential of the cell itself, so that it's actually at the I can't think of the word at the moment, the correct electric voltage that it needs to run at for optimum health. So if the electrical volt of the cell is not right, that's when illness starts to make its appearance. So there's that aspect of the Healy as well, and that is also a technology that's been in use for many years and is well documented in a number of different areas for healing. Yeah. I could just
incredible.
talk
And I think we could, couldn't we? And I think we can actually pass on the manual to anyone who's interested as well. People who want to comment can reach out to Linda or myself, and we can get you a copy of the manual. Like that, there's so much information there. If there's things specific that you want, you could reach out to us and we'll find it for you. Like there's so much. Yeah. There's so much there.
Absolutely.
And someone we have said, yes, another my hair, my eyelashes, my glasses, I trim them. Oh my gosh. Oh, is that because the Healy is helping your hair grow and your eyelashes grow?
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wow. I'm so excited. About that. Amazing. I don't need to know how that works. Cool. If my hair starts getting thicker, bring it.
Yep.
Bring that.
Look, I tell you what, if I can wake up without being in pain each day, because I do have fibromyalgia and I do wake up every day in some degree of pain. Most days it's pretty good, but there are days when it's not. So I'm really looking forward to testing this thing out, to actually seeing if it's making a difference to my pain levels. Because let's face it, pain is a real joy destroyer. And we don't need that. We need a lot more joy in our life. We need a lot more love and light in our life. And if we've got something that can alleviate pain in such a significant way, if we've got something that can help us get a good night's sleep so that we wake up fully vibrant and vital, ready to take on the day, you know, this world is going to see such an enormous change. Oh, we've got somebody else who's sold on the hair.
We could just sell it on that, really.
Yeah. The disc degeneration's an umbrella term. Yeah, okay. So it might be worth you actually popping into that group, Marlene, and doing a search on the specific condition, because I'm absolutely sure there's somebody in there who would have it or something similar, that would be sharing their experience of what's going on. Do you happen to know, Tamala, if they actually have had any returns of the Healy? Because they do offer that 2-week money-back guarantee. So you can try it out for 2 weeks.
I've not heard of anyone. And yeah, that's the thing that sold me was, I'm going to get it, I'm going to test it, and if it doesn't work, I've got 2 weeks to send it back. In all of the groups that I've listened to, in all of the people that I know who have one, in all of the people that I've been exposed to, and maybe Rebecca can even answer that question as well. She's been exposed to more people. I haven't heard of anyone sending it back. That's got to be something.
Yeah. I mean, for all the positive reviews, I mean, I did some searching looking for negative stuff about Healy, and I didn't actually find anything, which that in itself is quite unusual. You know, there's always somebody out there with something negative to say about everything.
Yes.
I haven't been able to find anything. Mind you, I have to say, once I was convinced that this was the thing for me, I did stop looking for the negatives.
Yeah. Well, it's about belief and intention, really. I mean, we'll find negatives about anything if we look hard enough, but it's not. Yeah. It's not, you know, usually when there's a scam or there's something on the internet, like it's there, like people are warning you, don't buy this thing, it's a scam. Like that's very easy to find, but I haven't seen that anyway. Rebecca's just said I'm not aware of anyone that sent it back either. So it's a real no-brainer. And also, you know, talking about the business side of it as well, you know, I bought one. I sold 8 in a week. And I sold 8 in a week because I just started to talk about it to people. People were approaching me going, what's the Healy? What's the Healy? So I've made my money back and a few extra $1,000 because I've bought one, I talked about it, I sold it. So for me, the investment, it wasn't even an investment. I've made my money back. And people can buy the Healy. They don't have to sell them. You can just buy your Healy. But once you have it, if you feel like spreading this joyous, incredible little device with the world and you start to talk about it, they sell themselves. So the investment, it's a no-brainer. It didn't cost me anything. I bought one. I talked about it. I've made my money back and some profit.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and Rebecca's saying if people use it for 2 weeks properly, they won't send it back. Oh, look, I am so looking forward to testing that theory. And I'm sure that you're absolutely right, Rebecca. But yeah, like I said, the more I look at it, the more I want it right now. Yeah. And that was just, I forgot there was something I was just going to say on the tip of my tongue, but you go, Tamala. It looks like you've got something on the tip of your tongue to say.
No, I was just excited. I was just like, bring it.
That was it. It's come back into my field. The thing that I was going to say was the Healy actually comes at different incremental levels. So, you know, I lashed out and bought the top of the range one because it does a scan as well as, providing the healing applications as well. But so that's what really got me interested, was the fact that I could do a personal scan to see what's going on in my field in real time and address what's happening for me at that particular time. I just thought that, that's mind-blowing. You know, that I like that. But having said that, you know, the base program provides 120 healing programs within that entry level. So, you know, there are increments that you can move into, and if you buy in at the entry level model and you want to upgrade at some time in the future, it's simply a matter of actually upgrading the programs. It's not upgrading the device as well. So it's unlocking extra programs that you can access to use through the same existing device that you already have. So they've made it really easy to use, and they've made it really easy for you to be able to access more and more if that's what you choose to do. And Rebecca is saying, as Healy starts to make waves, I'm sure we'll get some haters. Yep. You know, the skeptics are always going to have something to say. But that means it's starting to get out there and win. Haha, yes, indeed. And Marlene, you sold 8 before you were using it, Tam. Yeah, I know. Isn't she good? She's clever. But I have to say, I'm a little
they sell
bit more,
themselves.
I know, but I'm a little bit more reserved. I actually want to experience this for myself so that I can, you know, if people want to purchase it, I can tell them my personal experience, what I actually felt, what it did for me. Yeah, but that's just me. I'm a little bit reserved like that, I guess. Maybe it's the introvert in me coming out.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just where we're at. I was so excited about it. And I wasn't even consciously thinking, oh, quickly I need to sell this. As soon as I bought it, it was like, okay, it's coming into my field. This is it. But I just started to talk about it. I was really excited about it. I jumped onto the wave. They literally sold themselves. I started to talk about it. People were like, who isn't going to want to know about pain reduction, sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, thicker hair? Like, who isn't going to want to know about that? And I think too, because there's been a bit of a wait getting it. It's like I need to buy it now because I don't want to actually wait, you know, a month's time and then find out that it's really good and then wait another month. I'm going to buy it now because I know that in a month, if I don't like it, I can send it back. So it was the time hack. You know, we are apparently time poor. It's not actually the truth, but in today's society, if something is that good, bring it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Marlene's a bit like me. She's saying she likes to test things out and make sure that they do what they say. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now, how are we going? Oh, we've been chatting for ages, and I knew that this would happen. There's just so much wealth of information and good stuff coming our way. I can't wait. I knew we'd get together and just have a gab fest. So thank you so much, Tamala. Are there any other questions out there? Okay.
We'll have to do another one, Linda, when it arrives.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, Bronwyn, I can get a copy of the manual to you. Absolutely. I'll do that. And yes, when I'm actually planning to do a daily vlog on my Facebook page when my Healy arrives to actually document my experience with it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
me too. Well, you won't be able to shut us up. Sorry.
No. Okay, and thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for your company tonight. I really appreciate, I know how busy you are. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thank you so much. And Marlene is saying, oh, Marlene, yes, I can get a manual to you too if you'd like. Absolutely. Bronwyn can't wait for mine to arrive either.
Won't be long now.
Yep. So 2 more weeks. Let's put it out there. 2 more weeks, it'll be here. Let's do
1 week. Let's go 1 quantum field hack.
Okay, 1 week. Yep. I'm into that. Marlene is saying, thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for being here and joining us tonight. It's been so great to share this. So great to have this time with you too, Tamala. Thank you so much for bringing your shining self and sharing your wisdom.
Linda. Thank you, gorgeous. It's just so beautiful that something like this, you know, can bring us all together. You know, we can have really conscious conversations. We can be inspiring each other. We can be actually bringing a lot more hope, a lot more positivity, a lot more celebration into our lives because we're talking about something really super, super exciting. Yeah. 1 week, Marlene. Yes, 1 week.
Yep, 1 week. Let's put it out there, 1 week.
Yep. Set the intention. It will come.
Yeah. I can feel it getting closer already.
Check the letterbox.
I know. I was just telling Tamala before we started, I've got a frog that lives in my letterbox, and every day I've been down visiting and peeping into the letterbox, and he's either sitting there bum up, so he's got his little pointy bum facing upwards when I look in, or he's turned himself the other way around and he's got his little face up, so he's looking at me with his little froggy grin when I look in the letterbox.
Oh, I wonder what he's going to do when the Healy's in there, what position he'll be in.
Yeah. That'll be great.
He'll be all plugged.
Okay,
He'll be all plugged in.
let's wrap this up if there are no further questions. Thank you so much, everybody. So Bronwyn and Marlene, I'll get a manual across to you both, and I will pop the link to the testimonial group into the comments here. So hang around at the end. I've got to reconnect my keyboard. I mean, I could do it, but it's a bit awkward. I'll do that when we're finished so I don't interrupt everybody's night even further. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you again, Tamala, and we'll see you.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll see you on Facebook for sure.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Thanks.